Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. You won't believe what DK Metcalf just said about TJ Watt, and the football world is buzzing with reactions that range from shock to admiration. It all started when Metcalf, known for his candid interviews and no-holds-barred personality, sat down with a popular sport podcast and didn't hold back on his thoughts about one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. From the very first words, you could tell this wasn't going to be your typical sports compliment. There was an edge, a mixture of respect and critique that left fans on the edge of their seats, waiting for the bombshells. Metcalf praised Watt's relentless drive and game intelligence, emphasizing that facing him in the trenches is like going up against a wall of sheer physicality and mental acuity. But then, almost in the same breath, he pointed out areas where he believes Watt could improve. The comments were so layered that they immediately sparked debates across social media platforms, with analysts dissecting every word, trying to figure out if this was friendly ribbing, genuine advice, or subtle call-out. Everyone in the football community seems to have an opinion, and the fact that Metcalf dared to mix compliments with pointed critiques has made this a story that refuses to die. It's not often you see a player speak with such bluntness about a peer, especially someone as respected as Watt, and that's what makes this statement headline news everywhere. Fans were quick to react, flooding Twitter and Instagram with memes, threads, and videos, analyzing Metcalf's tone, choice of words, and even body language during the interview. Every football channel on YouTube seems to be covering this from every possible angle, and the comment sections are exploding with takes that range from "he's just being honest" to "that was unnecessary." Some fans are praising Metcalf for his transparency, arguing that the NFL is full of players who don't speak their minds, and hearing such candid remarks adds a layer of intrigue and realism to the sport. On the other hand, critics are accusing him of disrespect, claiming that calling out a superstar like Watt publicly could affect locker room dynamics or fan perceptions. The debate isn't just limited to social media. Sports analysts and former players are being asked for their opinions, and every answer seems to add fuel to the fire. What makes this situation even more fascinating is Metcalf's reputation for being both approachable and fiercely competitive, a combination that leaves room for interpretation. Is he mentoring through critique, or is this a subtle rivalry brewing behind the scenes? Either way, the statement has ignited conversations that are unlikely to fade, and every pundit seems determined to dissect every nuance of what he said. The way Metcalf structured his statement is also noteworthy because he didn't just throw out random praise or criticism. There was a method to the madness that only someone deeply embedded in the sport would understand. He acknowledged Watt's strengths in a way that almost sounds like admiration, highlighting specific games and plays where Watt's technique and athleticism were virtually unmatched. Then, in a twist that caught everyone off guard, he mentioned areas where Watt could elevate his game even further, like timing, positioning, or decision-making under high pressure. It's rare to hear such duality from a player, because most prefer to either compliment or criticize, rarely both in the same breath. This blend of respect and critique makes the comment both humanizing and polarizing, and it has fans dissecting every phrase for hidden meanings. Some speculate that Metcalf is signaling potential matchups in the upcoming season, hinting at strategies he might employ if they ever face each other on the field. Others believe it's a mental play, meant to get under Watt's skin in the most subtle way possible. Regardless of the intent, the statement achieved what few interviews ever do. It sparked discussions, predictions, and a level of intrigue that no highlight reel or stat line could generate. In essence, Metcalf managed to create a story that lives beyond the field, a narrative fueled purely by words and perception, which is rare in professional football circles where actions usually speak louder than speech. What makes this story even more compelling is the timing of Metcalf's comments, coming right after a series of high-profile games where Watt was undeniably dominant. Fans are connecting the dots, suggesting that Metcalf's praise and critiques are informed by recent matchups, possibly even signaling a tactical respect that only someone who has faced what in intense scenarios could express. Analysts are breaking down the interviews frame by frame, pointing out subtle expressions, pauses, and emphasis, claiming that these micro-details reveal whether Metcalf's tone was lighthearted, strategic, or loaded with deeper meaning. Meanwhile, the rumor mill is spinning wildly, with some suggesting that this could be the start of a public feud or a prelude to an epic on-field showdown that fans have been dreaming about. Social media engagement has skyrocketed, with every major football account sharing snippets of the interview, and fans debating how much weight a player's opinion should carry when it comes to evaluating a peer like what. The intersection of respect, critique, and possible competitive tension has created a perfect storm, and people can't stop speculating about what this means for the season ahead, for the players' reputations, and for the dynamics of their respective teams. Each new reaction only adds layers to the story, making it feel like a live narrative unfolding in real time, driven entirely by a single candid interview. Interestingly, the impact of Metcalf's words extends beyond just fan conversations. Team insiders and coaching staff are reportedly paying attention as well. Rumors are swirling that the commentary might influence training approaches, defensive schemes, or even motivational tactics within the locker room. It's fascinating to consider that a single interview, lasting only a few minutes, could ripple through professional football organizations in a way that affects decisions on the field, strategy meetings, and even player mindsets. Some coaches are said to be using the interview as a talking point to inspire younger players, demonstrating the value of both self-awareness and peer evaluation. Metcalf's approach, mixing admiration with pointed critique, is being analyzed as a model of constructive feedback, a lesson in how to recognize excellence while pushing for continuous improvement. Meanwhile, the media frenzy ensures that every word is examined, repeated, and quoted across platforms, amplifying the story and adding layers of interpretation that go far beyond the original interview. This phenomenon highlights the power of words in professional sports, showing that athletes can influence narratives, perceptions, and even strategies without ever stepping onto the field. The Metcalf-What dynamic is now more than just two elite athletes. It's a microcosm of football culture, competition, and the subtle interplay of respect, rivalry, and ambition. Even the casual observer is drawn into the drama, because Metcalf's remarks are framed in such a relatable and human way. He didn't just throw numbers or stats around. He painted a picture of what is both an imposing force and a player with room to grow, creating a story that resonates with anyone familiar with the highs and lows of competition. Fans of other sports are chiming in, seeing parallels to rivalries and friendships in their own arenas, and suddenly, a comment about what transcends football becoming part of a broader conversation about excellence, critique, and mentorship. The story has legs because it combines elements of suspense, respect, and speculation, making it perfect for the digital age where every opinion can go viral instantly. From YouTube reaction videos to podcast deep dives, the narrative is evolving organically, fueled by Metcalf's voice, but shaped by a global audience eager to interpret, react, and predict. This makes it feel like a living, breathing rumor, constantly shifting and growing as more people weigh in. Metcalf's candidness has achieved the rare feat of turning a straightforward player assessment into a cultural moment, bridging the gap between sports analysis and public fascination, and proving that sometimes words can have as much impact as touchdowns or sacks in shaping the story of the game. The final layer of intrigue is the sheer unpredictability of what comes next. Will what respond, publicly or privately? Will Metcalf double down, clarify, or keep the narrative ambiguous? Fans are bracing for reactions, social media posts, and possibly even on-field moments that might hint at tensions or camaraderie. The rumor mill is working overtime, imagining everything from playful banter to intense rivalry, and every scenario seems plausible because Metcalf's words were so multidimensional. The beauty of this story is that it doesn't rely on conflict to be compelling. It thrives on complexity, leaving room for interpretation, debate, and speculation. Analysts are framing it as a case study in athlete communication, exploring how one statement can ripple through media, fan perception, and professional dynamics, while fans simply enjoy the drama, memes, and endless conversation. Whether this becomes a minor footnote or a defining narrative of the season, one thing is clear. DK Metcalf's interview has set the stage for weeks of discussion, fascination, and intrigue. The ripple effects of these words are already being felt, making the Metcalf-Watt commentary one of the most talked-about stories in football, and proving that sometimes the off-field drama can be just as electrifying as the plays on it. The speculation surrounding DK Metcalf's comments on TJ Watt doesn't stop at just words. It's starting to infiltrate the psyche of fans, analysts, and players alike, creating a fascinating ripple effect across the entire football ecosystem. Every social media thread is buzzing with theories, dissecting Metcalf's phrasing, tone, and subtle gestures, and the sheer number of interpretations is staggering. Some suggest Metcalf's praise was strategic, a form of psychological gamesmanship intended to lull Watt into a false sense of security, while the critiques are hints at weaknesses he believes he can exploit in future matchups. Others argue the entire commentary is born out of mutual respect, the kind of candid honesty that only elite athletes dare to share with one another. Meanwhile, YouTube channels are capitalizing on this frenzy, producing breakdowns, reaction videos, and speculative analyses that sometimes verge on theatrical, amplifying every nuance and creating a sort of narrative theater around what might have been an ordinary interview. The sheer energy surrounding this topic is unprecedented, making casual observers feel like they're witnessing the early stages of a season-long storyline, where Metcalf's statements serve as the first domino in a chain reaction of competition, pride, and strategic positioning, all unfolding before fans' eyes in real time, fueled purely by words and perception. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What's particularly fascinating is the tension between fan interpretations and professional analysis, because while the former often leans toward dramatic speculation, the latter digs deeper, considering the tactical and the psychological implications of Metcalf's remarks. Analysts are exploring how Watt might adjust his gameplay, whether he'll internalize the feedback or treat it as a competitive challenge, and what this might mean for upcoming matchups. Some argue that public comments like these can subtly influence playbooks, as defensive coordinators consider how one star perceives another, while offensive coaches might use the situation to motivate their own players. The intrigue intensifies because both Metcalf and Watt are known for their competitive fire and dedication to excellence, which makes any critique more than just words. It becomes a potential blueprint for preparation, strategy, and mental games. Fans love this aspect, watching not just for stats or highlights, but for the behind-the-scenes implications that could shape the narrative of entire games or even the trajectory of the season. The conversation has evolved from a simple interview into a multi-layered spectacle, where every fan, commentator, and coach is interpreting, analyzing, and projecting possible outcomes, creating a living rumor that grows with each passing day. Adding to the suspense is the broader cultural effect of the Metcalf-Watt dynamic, because it touches on themes that resonate far beyond the football field. Discussions about criticism, respect, and peer evaluation are playing out in comment sections, podcasts, and fan forums, giving casual viewers an entry point into conversations that feel both relatable and high stakes. Some fans are framing this as a lesson in personal growth, highlighting how even elite athletes have room to improve, while others are treating it like an unfolding drama, where every word has narrative weight. Memes and social media posts amplify these discussions, transforming technical critiques into entertainment and giving the story a viral quality that traditional journalism can rarely achieve. Meanwhile, the rumor aspect is fueled by ambiguity. Metcalf's comments are precise enough to invite speculation, but open-ended enough to keep everyone guessing. This delicate balance between clarity and ambiguity is what makes the story so addictive. It allows fans to project hopes, fears, and rivalries onto it, creating a feedback loop where the audience becomes part of the narrative itself. In essence, what began as an interview has become a cultural event, where words, perception, and speculation collide, making the Metcalf-Watt interaction one of the most talked about subplots in sports today. Then there's the element of anticipation, which drives engagement to another level entirely. Every game now carries an undercurrent of what if. What if these comments influence Metcalf's performance against what? What if what responds publicly or perhaps with a dominating performance on the field? Fans and analysts alike are eagerly waiting to see whether these words were simply observations, psychological tactics, or the start of a more overt rivalry. Sports media thrives on anticipation, and this situation has become a perfect storm. It combines elite talent, candid statements, and the possibility of confrontation in a way that transforms ordinary matchups into must-watch events. Every press conference, pre-game interview, or sideline interaction now carries potential significance as observers scrutinize gestures and phrasing for signs of tension, humor, or respect. It's an ongoing drama where the stakes are both literal and symbolic. The literal stakes being games, standings, and career reputations, and the symbolic stakes being pride, respect, and narrative dominance. The intrigue generated by this anticipation has already solidified Metcalf's statement as more than commentary. It's the catalyst for a story that could define interactions, discussions, and even strategies for weeks or months to come, captivating audiences in ways that go beyond the normal rhythm of football coverage. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.